What's up, guys? It's Kegligate Gaming again. We're doing For Honor. The closed beta, or excuse me, open beta is this weekend before the full launch on the 14th. And I had pretty much a perfect game here. I think I went 14-0, so I want to drop some tips and tricks on how to get ready for the game at launch and start rocking it. So we're just going to get right into a couple things here. My first thing I definitely recommend is learning all the different classes. There's definitely some classes that excel, obviously, at different things, such as this guy I'm fighting here is one of the Conquerors, or I just call them Shield guys. As you can see, he kicks my ass in this duel pretty hard simply because he just blocked through everything. So I just threw him down the hole rather than fighting him. A good shield person will be able to block you all day long, and there's nothing you can do about it. So know the strengths and weaknesses of each class and use your environment or get allies or other different things to come in to defeat them. There's no point going one-on-one and wasting all that time fighting someone, especially if they're just going to block the entire time and keep you from being able to capture objectives or kill people, which are obviously the biggest objectives. The second biggest thing is going to the environment. Of course, there's the pitfalls or throwing people off cliffs is hugely important, but also don't be afraid to utilize things like narrow corridors or walls or things like that, which can cause your weapon to go slower. You can hit the wall and recoil back. So, especially with people like I play as the Raider, he is not as good in tight corridors unless you're doing the upswings like this. If you're doing the side swings, you can get caught on walls, so I prefer to keep them out in open areas, don't fight on bridges or things like that. So conversely, if you're playing, say, like the Assassin who I'm fighting here, they don't have that problem in those tight corridors, so you're better off running to hide in those corridors and then fighting them there. Next one's kind of an obvious one, but execute. Execute as many people as you can. Don't let them just get away with light kills if you can, because the more people that you execute, the longer that they're out of the game, and the more objectives you can hold, and the faster your team can score points. Conversely to that, if any of your allies are dead, of course, revive them. It's a team-based game, and even though in some games like this one where I go perfect score, I don't die once, I'm carrying my team a little bit hard on this one. Reviving people is of the utmost importance to get them out of that waiting period and keeping your objectives, which again, objectives are number one. The next thing is I see a lot of people making this mistake where they're way too aggressive. Like this guy here, he obviously had one hit left on him, and yet he was still trying to attack rather than going on the defensive, blocking or rolling away. This is not a game where you can just button mash, continually swing over and over and over and win. Because the people in the defensive position definitely have the upper hand, especially if they have a shield, but otherwise you're still telegraphing your moves, and they're going to be able to block every single one of your moves. And most people get into a pattern where they'll attack once or twice, and then they'll try and do a guard block and throw you around or things like that, and it becomes all too predictable. So don't go into a position where you're constantly on the aggressive because you're at a disadvantage. Like this guy was just focused on taking me down, got low health, he ran right by me, 3 quick swings, and I'm back up to half health and going again. Definitely find a character you're also comfortable with. I've pretty much exclusively played the Raider. I know quite a few people are unfortunately at disadvantage that didn't get to play in the beta and try out all the different characters when they gave you the free money to try everyone out, but every character really does play a lot differently depending on how you like to play. Especially the assassins who have low health but are quick, and like I said, they're good in low corridors, they're good at being agile and ganging up on people. The first 3 people you unlock are all very straightforward, adaptable characters that do good damage, they have good defense, good offense, so they're good places to start. But definitely play around with everyone and find someone that you're really comfortable being. From my time in the different betas, I haven't really seen too many matchups where one character cannot beat another character all out, so that it was just an unfair match that you're bound to lose. So you don't have to worry too much about being good with every single character, rather focusing on the characters that you are good with. Another thing I don't know whether or not it actually makes a difference in the game, but the high ground, low ground seems to make a difference. And I don't know if it's just a placebo effect or it's just, something that's only happened to me. But if you can stay on the high ground, it seems like you're in an advantage, just like you would be in real life if you take the high ground. So watch your environment. I'll definitely update this if I find out for certain whether or not it makes a difference. But again, as I said, it seems to make a big difference here. And the last couple things I just wanted to touch on are, of course, as you can see on the right-hand screen, when you're ending a match, when they're skulled out like that, that means that they have been executed, so they can't be revived, which is super important for being able to end a match. As, again, if you leave them alive, they're just going to get back up and continue to frustrate you. So there's some tips and tricks to get into the game. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for joining Kegleg Gaming, and we'll see you next time.